Welcome, everybody, to episode 234 of The China Show, The Real China Show.
The real deal. This is the only place you need to be for your China current events, news, and everything in between. Mm-hmm. And shout out to 234, which the area code goes to Akron, Ohio. Shout out to our Akron, Ohio people.
Absolutely. Before we get started, you'll notice that we're bringing the bike back.
I'm bringing bikes back.
We had this thing, this footage that was filmed in Beijing, okay, shows a bicycle that's half on the road, half on the sidewalk, just lying there, and everyone walks past.
Poor guy.
So here's the thing. We always place bets whenever we use this background. Will anyone pick up the bike? Of course, it's the same footage.
Yeah, what was I going to say? What are you trying to say here?
But one can always hope.
What if it was filmed a little bit later, and it's actually a different clip? But it's the same bike, and maybe it does get picked up.
Anyway, place your bets.
Can I explain real quick, though?
Sure.
Winston and I both are the kind of people that would pick up the bike.
Yes.
Because it's blocking, like, the sidewalk.
And the road.
In the road, it's very annoying, right? And it became this massive thing in the China Show lore, whether or not you would pick up the bike. And we assumed that the vast majority of our audience, you guys, would pick up the bike.
Yes.
Just because it's the right thing to do. It turns out only 60% of you, which was the majority, would pick up the bike, which was a little disappointing to us, and it became a massive debate. However, we then got a rash of clips of people sending them to us, of people in America and in Europe, and I believe some in other countries, of them picking up bikes.
Yes.
And we inspired change. So when you see an errant bike on the side of the road that's fallen over, or someone has just left it, you pick up the bike. It's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
It's the right
just
thing
get
to
it
do.
out of the road. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, let's get started with what's new. We're going to saunter right into it, and this is where we talk about what's new, specifically with regards to China. We've got a couple of blow-by-blow days for you over here. October the 8th, so not that long ago, in Shandong, China.
What do we got?
Well, I'm going to show you in a second.
Let's have a look.
What is this lovely scene?
So this, I have some notes up here. I believe there is 30 million RMB. So 30 million.
What's that?
RMB. It's about it's 4.25.
4.25 million US dollars.
Million US dollars.
I love that hammer and sickle nonsense on the wall.
I love that they tried to make it like. So here's the deal. They're trying to do this big push in China right now, where they're like reclaiming Chinese culture. But what they're doing is just like making like murals and stuff of communism that don't look like the old style of communism.
Sure.
Let's look at that. That embossed cement, horrible dystopian thing. They didn't paint it.
No, it'll be made out of fiberglass or something anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, 4.25 million US dollars of land compensation money. By the way, what is land compensation money?
So when the local governments in China, when they take the land from people, okay, because, you know, historically you've got people that were allowed to, in these rural areas, they're allowed to use that land for farming.
Use is the key word.
Yeah, it's not actually theirs.
No.
But they're supposed to be able to use that land. So when the government comes in, they want to make money. They kick people off the land, and then they sell that land to a developer. They lease it, but they sell it. So they're like, you can have this land for 70 years, but you have to pay X amount of millions of RMB to us. Okay, then the developer gets all the investment in. They build these cheap high-rises, you know, and that's how it goes. The cycle continues. But in order to kick the people off the land, because they have got rights to that land, to farm, because, again, it doesn't belong to them, but they have the rights. They give them money, compensation. But what happened here is the local government took that compensation money, instead of giving it to the people, they went and bought financial products for themselves, the local government head guys. So in other words, they bought investments for themselves. So people got really annoyed.
Just play it because it goes a while.
But what's the kicker here?
So TLDR, you just tuned in here. $4.25 million stolen by the government officials.
Yes, the local government officials in that area.
These poor people go, where's our money, right? They go out and they're like, can we have our money, dudes? You stole it all, right?
Yes.
The cops there arrest them.
Well, you know why they arrested them?
Why did they do that?
Because in Chinese law, you're allowed to petition Beijing.
Yes.
So in other words, you're allowed, if you have a dispute and you have something you're not happy with the government, you are, in the constitution, the Chinese constitution, which of course is nonsense, but you're allowed to go to Beijing to petition your rights. So you can go to the central government and say, hey, listen, I've been screwed over here by the local government, you know.
Or in this particular case, can you give me a rock intro real quick?
Sure.
You gotta fight for your right for farming.
Okay,
That's
yes,
what they
something
needed.
like that.
Even though that tune didn't go to that.
No.
You're allowed to go to Beijing and petition.
Yes.
technically.
So what happened is some members of this village went to Beijing to petition. As soon as the local government guys found out that they went to petition, as soon as they came back, they arrested them for going to petition.
Yes. So I have some insight on that. Can you
Yeah.
just play this? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It goes on for a while, I believe.
Yeah.
The idea is that the central government is so loving and so caring for its people that you might have problems with the local government. By the way, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, same
But
government.
you can go
Yeah.
to the central government to go say, hey, here's my problem, and technically be able to address your problems. However, in the same province, I translated a document from Shandong, from actually a place that we had been. And when I translated this document, it was the groundwork being laid for the social credit system, meaning you start out with a score in China, and that score either goes up or down based on your duties to the party.
Correct.
Right? Now, one of the things that I laughed at and was also simultaneously sad about was that one of the things that can lower your score, which remember, when you go down the ranks, you can't go to school anymore. You can't have all these luxuries of that Chinese citizens have. By the way, there's almost none anyway. But
Sure.
Anyway, you're demoted.
Not
in
allowed to
society.
take a high-speed rail or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You can't get train tickets. One of the things that contributed to a lower score was to go and petition Beijing.
So if you petition Beijing, they lower your social credit score.
Correct.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like a corporate structure. It's like if you've got a manager and you go over his head to the boss. That's what this was like.
Bingo.
Yeah,
so couldn't have said it better myself.
So these guys, they went to the central government to complain.
Yes.
So what happens? They come back and they're like, how dare you go over our heads, and arrested them all. So now they're all protesting to get the people that were arrested let out.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, this whole idea that you can go petition to the central government, it's on paper, but in reality, it's very difficult to do.
It's kind of like how on paper China has freedom of religion in
Yes.
the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it's just
tell me another
nonsense.
joke,
Yeah,
please. Tell me
it's
one that's
nonsense.
actually funny, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so long story short, they got arrested. And I'll tell you what, I know people personally that had grievances
Yes.
because of a peer-to-peer lending scheme. And they were planning to go to Beijing to petition.
Because you're allowed.
Yeah, you're supposed to be allowed to say like, oh, we've been ripped off because of these companies or something. But the government themselves, the police, phoned this guy, one of the guys I know who was going to go, phoned his boss and told his boss to make sure that he didn't leave to go to Beijing. He was like,
Yes.
and they told his boss to threaten him with his job. Like,
Yes.
if he tries to go to Beijing, that he will lose his
Imagine.
job.
I just want to put this into perspective.
Sure.
Because people are like, oh, America's turning into
Sure.
this.
Whatever.
It's like, let's
Yeah.
say you work for a local pizzeria.
Okay.
And this Italian restaurant, right?
Like
You got
Pinocchio's Pizza or something.
Do you know your boss, right?
Yeah.
Do you know your boss? They call him up, right? And they go, we heard that one of your employees is going to a protest in D.C. outside the White House. You got to make sure he doesn't do that.
Yes.
Can you imagine the absolute outrage?
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
would transpire?
And that's what happens.
Hey, chat, who am I?
I don't know. Who are
They'll
you?
guess. They'll guess. Okay.
Okay, let's move on, shall we? Go over here. Get down in the corner. The next thing we have is on October 13th, okay? So a couple days later.
Yes.
A couple days in the past now for us.
This is pretty
In
self-explanatory.
Guizhou.
Yeah. Look at the scope of this fire. It's a wildfire. It's crazy, though, because these mountain towns are built like nestled valleys,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, we've actually been here.
Yes.
And this whole area just like lit up, and it's crazy because society and like life just kind of continues, but China doesn't have that fire protection or fire training to like keep fires back that a lot of the rest of the developed world has. It's not to say those firemen are not heroic. They
No,
are. It's just they don't have the facilities, especially
Don't have the
these
proper
mountain
training.
areas, these
Yeah.
poor areas. They don't have the equipment to keep this stuff back, and it
Yeah.
gets out of control.
It's also these, again, it shows you how, well, news doesn't spread like wildfire in China, that's for sure.
Yeah, it
Because
looks crazy.
you have massive fires like this and nobody knows about them other than the people that live in that area. Because it's not really widely publicized. I'm pretty sure you didn't
You'll
hear
get
about
drips
them.
and you'll get drips and
Yeah.
drabs. But if it's too crazy and it's causing too much unrest, then it's definitely not gonna be reported.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the world hears whenever there's like a California wildfire.
yeah, that's always.
Or, like maybe a fire in Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kinda
China will
strange.
make sure you know about the
Yes.
Hawaiian fire because
Yes,
they'll
but
tell you
not
that
their
it's the
own
U.S.
fires.
government that did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. with space lasers, which, by the way, they are the ones who shot the space lasers on Hawaii, remember?
Yeah, not to cause a fire, by the way.
No, that was just to like spy or whatever. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was another big incident that happened in this past week, just in case you weren't aware. And this.
Actually, I wanted to shout this out real quick.
Yeah.
You know Black Myth Wukong, there's actually a sequel because it was a runaway success.
Yes.
And everyone was going crazy about that game.
Yes.
I bought it. I played it. It was pretty good. But they were like, well, how do we take advantage of this? Well, let's make a sequel, and it's hyper realistic.
Yeah, Black and Myth burned down.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna pause it quickly. Okay.
I love that he keeps going. Does it feel that it's getting a little hot?
Yeah, it does. A couple of things here. All right. This is something that you will learn very quickly in China, that things like common sense safety standards don't really exist, or safety practices, I should say. So this is a new shop that's opening, and this happens a lot in China. In order to like attract customers, they'll have some kind of performance.
You say some kind of performance. What you mean is they'll always get Wukong.
Yes.
Someone in a Wukong outfit.
Pretty
to show
much,
up
yeah.
Every
exactly,
time.
Yeah. So what he's got is he's got a staff basically with massive sparklers in it.
Yes.
But what he doesn't realize is that there's a very flammable display right behind him. Let's look at that again.
That's not how the fire started.
No, and then he's like, oh, wait.
Hello.
More like hell. Take the O away.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't block it, but it's just hell. It's a portal to hell.
You could make us big and our head could block.
Oh, that's true. That's okay, though. They get it under control.
Yeah, it's not. No one gets hurt.
No.
But it's very, I don't know. Black and
It's a little-
Myth Wukong, or Black and Myth Burned Down. It's
Yes.
a great name.
It's a little bit of a worrisome thing, because look, there's flammable stuff above it, and this is in an underground, one of those underground malls.
You don't want to start the fire that from
No.
down there.
No. Exactly. But like I said, Wukong to the rescue back there. What's he doing?
I love that people just filming like they think it's part of the show.
Yep.
Like it was supposed to burn down.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
they might even play it off like that.
They might. This is a bit much, though.
Even when the fire extinguishers get busted.
Yeah. Exactly. The best part's yet to come, though.
Okay. And get out of there. Why is everyone standing around?
It's interesting. Take a bow.
No way.
Yes.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's
they
like-
bowed out of it.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, okay,
This was the
this was the show.
And it was better than what it would have been.
Agreed.
Think about it.
Yeah, it would have just been some old twirly-whirly
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I liked it.
Now, this is hilarious, okay? What you've got here is a guy stopped at an intersection.
Okay.
Now, listen, guys. China has built a lot of infrastructure very quickly. Okay, we've seen it with our own eyes.
Yes.
There'd be roads where there weren't roads, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks before.
Yes.
You drive into a town, suddenly there's a whole new set of roads and some...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I see where you're getting. I haven't seen this
Yeah.
yet.
Okay, so the thing is, the planning isn't always great because it's just rushed.
Yeah.
Here's a great example. This is an intersection, and we all know these where there's a traffic light, right?
Yeah.
So this is the line where you stop, and you can see there's the zebra crossing.
Yes, as we say, a crosswalk.
You don't call it a zebra crossing over here?
No.
You don't really?
No, people would think it's weird. If you
That's
said that.
strange, because even in Chinese, they call it a banmaxian.
Yeah, but we don't because we're not Chinese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, most people in the world, I don't know, make a poll.
No one. Do you
Call it
American?
Do you call it as, doesn't matter,
This is not
in
an
the
article.
world?
Yeah, but I'm not arguing. I'm
Yeah.
arguing that only Americans.
Okay,
probably
so
do
you
that.
just call it a
I'll do
crosswalk?
anyway.
I feel like crosswalk can mean different kinds of ways to, sometimes there isn't a zebra crossing on the road. It's just like lines, like a...
Sure. This is not a battle between us, by the way. This
No.
poll. This is just to see what
It's
people
just,
call it.
yeah, do you call it a zebra crossing or a crosswalk?
Poll
Let's
is
find out.
up. Click crosswalk
yeah.
or zebra crossing.
Yeah, anyway, so you've got this zebra crossing crosswalk thing over here. That's where you stop, okay?
Yes.
But the traffic lights are like 100 meters away.
I love that.
Can you
so
see?
much.
Okay, but this guy switched on. Look what he
红
does.
绿灯得有100多米，你看把我超出这对的。
That's very funny.
That's the only way you can
That's
see the
so
traffic
freaking-
light change.
That's so freaking funny. You know what? I can attest to this, especially in the north.
Yeah.
They'll build these like in areas that are very flat, right?
Yes,
a lot
yes.
of northern China's flat. You go up there and they'll have these new development areas with these boulevards because it's communist central planning.
Yes.
They'll be like, everywhere needs to have the 6-lane highway, but there's no one there.
Yes.
So they'll set up functioning traffic lights
Yeah.
that are totally wrong, or like the turn thing will be in the wrong direction.
Yes.
And it's just because they had to get it done.
Yes.
You know,
It's
take the photos.
crazy.
And...
But I mean, look, also the visibility is usually quite poor. Like this dust everywhere. It's not necessarily pollution, but there's always construction going on and construction trucks, which
There's
create...
definitely pollution.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's definitely polluted. But there's always dust and crap everywhere, so it's hard to see anyway.
Yeah.
Never mind 100 meters away.
I love that. He said Ibai told me, but it's more than that.
It's
That's
definitely
further
more.
than a football field
Yeah.
away.
Well, he did say more than 100
he did,
meters,
he
so he
did.
could have meant
Yeah.
600 meters.
You
Who
could
knows?
have. You could.
Yeah, anyway, let's
very
move on.
funny.
Yeah.
Before we finish that, I'll just pull the poll.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
Yeah, over 1,000 votes. 61% say crosswalk, 39% say zebra crossing.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, and I don't think either one's right or
No,
wrong.
no, it
It's
just depends where you grow up.
Yeah.
I do think it kind of looks like a zebra, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's and I'll understand it when you say it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Just we don't say that.
It's Oh, that's cool. Well, I guess I did grow up in Africa. You know, we have zebras there.
True, that's more relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we would have like geese crossing here.
Something like
Canadian
that.
geese crossing.
Exactly. Wouldn't that only be in Canada, though?
We have lots. I mean, here's the deal. You know the geese you see every day?
Yeah.
Those are called Canadian geese. Isn't
Yeah.
that weird?
Okay. Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
So
They hiss a lot when you walk up to them. Very weird.
just strange. Yeah. So did they originate in Canada?
Yeah, I think they're from there. I think they just come down here. I don't know.
They should just go back.
Whoa, a little geesophobic over here. Geesophobia.
We want our own homegrown American geese.
Yes.
Where's an American goose? When we
I
need
know,
it?
I
Yeah.
know, right? Canadian
Yeah.
Canada goose.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell? Where's America goose
I want an
jackets?
American goose.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now this, you've got the write up about this, right? What was the date on this one?
Yeah, so this is let me see.
Did I give it to you?
I don't think so. But that's okay.
Okay, this happened last week.
Okay.
Can't give you an exact date, but okay. Now, the whole point of this is we just wanted to show you the priorities that China has. There was a tragic accident where a cleaning lady fell off a building here.
Yeah.
Okay. But rather than send the emergency services, the people that arrived first were these stability management services.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Okay. And this, you can see they've got the censorship screens up there. Okay. They're getting ready for, in case people come to, cause unrest, because there's been a lot of unrest recently. Now, we had a lot of material we were going to throw together, but we decided we'd focus on it maybe next week.
Yeah.
Because sanitation workers have been basically
Yeah, I have that here
rioting.
too, yeah.
We've got hospital staff right now. So
Yeah.
anyone in the service industry right now, there's been a lot of unrest in China.
Yeah.
But we'd like to put it together in a more
Yeah, it says a little
easier to understand rather than just throw a little bit here and there.
Little tease.
Anyway, guys, it's time to move on to my favorite part of the show, slopaganda. And this
great
is where China tries to do propaganda and it kind of falls short.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and
always.
we've got the return of the Haze Runner. So I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna play it completely unmolested, and then when we're done, we'll rewind and then we'll talk about
Gotcha.
it. Okay. All right, guys.
It's a food related one because we're having a food
Yeah,
related
it's a
episode.
food related. Oh! I jumped back.
Oh.
I hate when it does that. I got to.
Woo! You can see the excitement.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's do it. I just wanted to make sure the volume was right.
Okay.
There we go. Let's go.
You'll follow me, okay? And this place smells like really good food.
So I'm hiding something food related inside my box, and I will invite them to unbox it.
Okay,
Is it a ball of wax?
it looks like a glue.
就是很解压。
Oh, it's like a little sticky as well.
Actually, like not only, it's pretty sour.
That's really interesting.
Really?
Wow. It's like if beer had a porridge.
Oh, that's a lot of food that we just had. It's about time that we explore some music here.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Sound like dying well. Dying well.
Can I
Sure.
examine that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to examine what they're actually doing here.
Okay.
So there's something food related.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. If you actually saw the whole thing like unedited, it's incredibly insulting
Oh, is it?
because it's
yeah.
in Mongolia.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're taking Haze Runner around to show the local culture. But all they show is the Han culture that's moved in and zero Mongolian culture.
Yeah, so it's basically a whitewashing thing where it's like, oh, you want to... There's one part where the Chinese minder goes, what do you think about when you think of like Inner Mongolia or whatever? And they go, oh, I think of like throat singing. They're like, well, guess what? Here's some Han culture stuff.
Yes,
because
exactly.
it's always been here.
Yeah.
It's like a whitewashing thing. Like, we took your land, but it's fine.
Yeah. So the whole point is they go to a tourist area as usual and do touristy stuff and
Yes.
pretend that's the way it is, you know? Anyway.
And this place smells like really good food.
So I'm hiding something food related inside my box, and
I don't like when she says that, but let's
I
move
will
on.
box, and I will
I want to
invite them.
pause that real quick, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame our foreign co-hosts here.
No, they don't
And
know.
I'll tell you why, because they actually came up with some actual Mongolian culture when asked. You know what I mean?
You just don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Because you know every single thing that you see here that they're talking about, the food that they try, everything, none of it has anything to do with Inner Mongolia.
Yes.
To unbox it.
Okay.
Is it a ball of wax?
It looks like a glue.
就是很解压。
Yeah.
They're preparing this food.
Yeah.
I love Haze Runner's reaction to the food. He's very
Oh,
polite.
it's like a little
Yes.
sticky as well.
Actually, like not only, it's pretty sour.
That's really interesting.
I love Haze Runner.
Yeah, he's funny.
He manages
Yeah.
to keep a positive attitude.
Yes.
Even though it probably tastes horrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like they're really not enjoying themselves. To
It
be
looks like
honest.
something I would enjoy.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I'll be, you know, we've all been in this situation before, and this
Yeah.
is not a China thing. This is everywhere.
Oh, this
thing.
is anywhere you go.
You go somewhere and it's like you expected to like something.
Yes.
But come on, like
Sure.
that food
Sometimes
doesn't taste good. That music's not very palatable to the ear, if
Sure.
that makes sense.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't go out and enjoy that
Jam.
music.
You wouldn't jam that.
I wouldn't
in your
jam to
car?
that. No,
You wouldn't jam that jam?
no,
No.
no.
It's like if beer had porridge.
I love that quote.
If beer had a part, in my mind, there's a beer sitting there with a
Yes.
bowl in front of it, eating.
He's eating the
Yes, if
porridge.
beer
That's
had
what
a
I was
porridge.
thinking. Or
Yeah.
there's a beer and her legs are up in the stirrups and she's pushing the porridge out and they're like, ma'am, it's a porridge.
It's a porridge. If beer had a porridge, yeah. Oh well, yeah.
Oh boy.
Then they go on this beautiful walk, and of course, Chinese state media is so well known for its excellent audio quality.
Oh, that's a lot of food that we just had. It's about time that we explore some music
the other
here.
Love his thing.
Yeah.
These are rules.
Try listen to this when you have a hangover. By the way, I dare anyone turn on any kind of traditional Chinese opera when you have a hangover. Tell me if you enjoy that.
It might cure you.
It might cure you.
It might give you
Might give you an
internal
aneurysm.
migraines.
Yes.
An aneurysm.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Sound like dying well, dying well.
A little harsh over there.
It is.
Yeah. Wonderful. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this week's Slopaganda segment. We've got some more very hilarious things coming up here. I just have to, just before we do though, we have a word that's coming. Here it comes. This is the word. Come on. This is going to happen.
You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you have to bump on repeat and you just have to share it with your friends so that they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan.
It's such an awesome deal. There's no way you can keep it to yourself. I mean, wireless prices, $15 a month. I mean, it's awesome.
It's unheard of. Friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile's here to rescue you and your squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/ADV. That's mintmobile.com/ADV.
Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/ADV.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on the first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Excellent. So it's time now for Beyond the Great Firewall. What is Beyond the Great Firewall?
Beyond the Great Firewall is where we take you inside the Chinese internet and translate some stuff that's going viral there. Usually it's funny stuff.
Usually.
Today, it's not so funny, but it's funny too. I put 2 clips in.
Oh, you did?
One clip that's been going around is a very, very ironic but sobering wake-up call for people that think that China is some socialist paradise where the state takes care of you, because that is how the propagandists like to frame things.
Okay.
So this is what happened. We could probably turn it down. We probably don't need to hear what this guy said, but you can turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hear a little bit what he says. Basically, this guy shows up in Hunan, right? Shows up to the People's Hospital, the Renmin Yiyuan,
Yes.
right? Which in China, the People's Hospital means like the public hospital. It's for everybody. Technically, in their mouth, it's supposed to be free, you know? It's supposed to be a communist thing, right? Everyone deserves health care in a communist socialist country, right?
Yes.
Just play it. But he's turned away. So he actually had made an appointment for his checkup.
Yes.
And showed up at the time that the staff told him to show
Yeah, and he
up.
made an appointment the day before or the
Yes.
week before or whatever.
And she goes, and the person said, come at this time. He shows up, but guess what? There's Communist Party officials in there.
Yeah.
Right? And they're obviously getting priority. So the staff here tells him, no, you can't come here. And he goes, well, do I wait outside? Or like, he's being patient.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, you can't be here. Like, you got to go.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, when can I reschedule a time? She goes, I have no ability to tell you when you can reschedule.
Yeah, just come back later,
Just
basically.
go.
Yeah.
Like, leave.
Yeah.
Because the priority goes to the Communist Party officials, right?
Yes.
Supersede everything, and that's how the whole society and Chinese government works.
Yeah.
They always take priority over everything.
So basically, the people get trampled on whenever a Communist Party member is around.
Yes.
We've seen that ourselves.
Oh my gosh, and it's still like that. So what happened was he actually gets, you can just play it.
Okay.
It takes a little while, but he gets frustrated and he goes in and he demands to be seen. He's not scared.
Yeah.
Because these people, a lot of these people, well, 99% of people will just turn around and leave, but there will be outliers that are like, you know what, this is not fair. And people have to eat a lot of bitter, as you say in Chinese, 吃苦, which means like suffer, right?
Yeah.
You have to put up with so much shit in China and society.
Yes.
That eventually you've had enough, right? And
Yeah.
this guy's like, no, I've had enough of this. You're gonna see me now. Is this not a people's hospital? Am I not a person?
Exactly. I have a feeling that he's probably gotten into a lot of trouble for this.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's just a little wake up call, a little
Well,
sobering.
we can give you another example. Something we ran across a lot in China was whenever a government official was visiting whatever city or town or something like that, they would come in and literally just destroy any street vendors. Okay,
like old ladies selling vegetables.
Anybody on the side of the road, they would arrest them. They would take them away. They'd destroy all their goods. If there were any beggars in town, they would clean them
Clean
up.
them out.
All the things that are supposed to be illegal, like prostitution and all that kind of thing, they would shut it down for that day or that week. They'd come in and clean the place up.
Traffic cops would wear white gloves.
Yes.
And like direct
all of a
traffic.
sudden, there would be
Yeah.
traffic cops. Suddenly, everything sort of works for that little period in time, and it just shows you it's not an equal society in any means, any way, shape, or form. And I'm not talking about like a big wig government official coming. Some small time guy comes in.
It could be either or.
Yeah. Anyway.
But this, you missed the first part of this. This is
I'll
a
go
funny
back.
clip that is actually very much in line with some memes that you would see in the West, because you know there's the whole movement of like being a simp is not okay. You should never simp, right?
Okay.
So today you're going to learn a word in Chinese, which
Yeah.
is tiangou, which means a simp. But it also, in direct translation, means like a licking dog.
Yes.
Licking dog translates to simp. So the joke here is a play on words,
Yeah.
where you're going to see a person say that they are pretending to be a dog,
Yeah.
a licking dog, but actually they're a simp.
Okay.
They're going to get rid of the simp because simping
So-
is not allowed.
So you did put subtitles in this, so let's take a look.
什么狗？
我是舔狗。
大哥，舔狗直接就整死。好。朋友们，后头的了，撤！
Okay.
Very harsh.
That's really harsh. Okay, so that's
So
the
the
only way
joke
to
is
deal
that
with.
the dog is a simp because that the word licking dog is simp in Chinese.
Correct.
Just teaching you a little Chinese.
That's
that was
great.
Going wild on Chinese internet.
So I've got an incredibly funny clip to show you guys.
Okay.
Okay, but before we do, here's our final word.
Okay.
It's coming. Word. Word up. What else can I...
What can you say, or what can you tell me
Yes.
about AG1?
I think it's a fantastic way, and especially after you see what we're going to see shortly, fantastic way to sort out your health.
Absolutely. The AG1 has been something that we've been using for a very, very long time now. It's the quickest, healthiest thing you can do in seconds, really. Put a scoop into a cup, ding, 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 drink it. You have all of the vitamins and minerals and all of your nutritional things that you need for that day. Especially useful for people like us that are not necessarily 100% on top of their nutrition. We are not terrible, but we're also not the, peak.
I think everybody gets into a point in their life where they kind of let go of their diet for a while and they might subsist on pizza and beer.
Sure.
It's entirely possible.
They might.
And you need these nutrients. You need these vitamins.
Absolutely.
Do you say vitamin or vitamin?
We say vitamin.
Okay, so you
That's
need these
okay.
vitamins. So AG1 is a fantastic source.
AG1's in-house team of doctors, scientists, and researchers work with third-party experts on studies that validate the benefits of AG1. So covering your nutritional basis, it starts in the gut, starts in your stomach. In a research study, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut. These healthy bacteria work together to break down food that are known to alleviate bloating, promote digestive regularity, and aid digestive comfort. If there's one product I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Absolutely. Right. Are you ready to continue with the show?
I am.
All right. So, guys, I got a clip I want to show you.
Sure.
And, well, believe it or not, this
Is it a funny clip?
is really funny. Well, I'll leave it up to all you guys to decide. Oh, sorry. Okay. I just got... You're probably hearing some weird noises. Let me get it from the beginning. We got to watch this all from the beginning.
Are we really?
Yes, we're all going to watch it from the beginning.
Well, dying well.
Never mind the dying whale part. Okay. Let's get it on. Here we go. Not like that.
Yikes.
No. So, what we have here, okay, this is also just from the other day on the 12th, okay?
Okay.
This is very typical. When you live in an apartment complex, there are entry points that you can get in and out of, right? This is the parking lot entrance, but there's also a way for pedestrians to get through. However, I believe that this woman is probably visiting, okay, because she's not familiar with it. So she gets to this gate, and she probably doesn't have the access card to get out, or she doesn't know how to get out. So what she's going to do is climb over the gate. Logical, right?
Yes.
There's no other place to get
I'm
past.
just trying to figure this out where this is going.
Okay, so here we go.
We don't need to stop it anymore.
No, we won't. I just wanted to set it up. So as you can see, she's like, it's not very convenient.
Yeah, and you're not gonna be able to sneak under it.
No, not this kind of gate.
Okay. I like this music.
Yeah. She's like,
Okay, so she's gonna go over the gate.
it's kind of
This is
inconvenient.
like
in
going
a-
on a bear hunt, right? That
Yeah.
can't go over it, can't go under it.
Exactly.
Gotta go through it, maybe.
Maybe.
She's gonna go through it?
Yeah, so obviously because she's wearing a skirt, it's a little difficult. I understand that, you know.
Yeah,
But look,
in
she's
your experience, like, you're
she's going for it. I mean, not personally, of course. She is going for it, though.
Okay, so she's gonna go over it.
Whoops. So that's the
I
pedestrian
actually
gate.
didn't think about that because I didn't think it would open like that.
Yeah, I thought it was the whole one gate, right? But that's actually
Oh.
that's the pedestrian area. That's normally what opens for the pedestrians to come
I
in
get
and
it
out.
now. That's very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, so the student is like,
Fine though. It's obviously like a very low-powered gate.
yes.
Yeah.
She's okay, don't worry. It's probably quite embarrassing for her to be stuck there.
Yes.
So the student's like, oh, what can I do? Not a heck of a lot that she can do.
This is really going on.
Yeah, it must be quite
Well,
embarrassing.
that kid's helping out. He's almost got
Oh
it
yeah, it's
free.
him. Sorry, I didn't see. Yeah, the it's
Oh,
got
he
that's-
gave up on her.
Yeah, just gonna watch
He's
now.
just gonna
stand and watch.
now.
Just
I
like what's
love
going
that.
on here.
I love that he's just watching.
Yep.
That's great. That's very funny.
Oh, here it comes down.
Oh, okay.
It obviously times out after a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that worked out. It was almost like, you know what that was?
What?
It was almost like one of those rides you put a quarter in,
Yes,
and it was just free,
it was.
you know?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And it played music too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I just thought we'd show you that fantastic attempt. I actually have an almost identical one, which I'll bring up next week. Just so you know, it's like it's its own genre.
Okay.
Gate crossing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's its own genre. Anyway, it's time
You
for
don't
us.
mean like crossing the pearly gates.
No,
Like, yeah,
no,
okay,
I wouldn't show you that stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, it's time for us to move on to Soft Power Hour. That's where we talk about how China tries to change your mind. And I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of food-related nonsense going on in this past week.
Yes, that's why we want to do a food-related episode. So if you're here for either the girl being cooked in hot pot,
Yep.
then you're going to be very happy that we're about to show that right now.
Sure.
Or the zombie meat.
You're
which
going
is
to
in the
find out
title.
all about zombie meat.
You're mostly going to find out about that because it's wild.
Yeah.
Or what's the other thing you threw in there?
You'll see.
Okay, let's find out.
Let's get into
There's
it.
also some funny stuff.
Some other stuff too, yeah. All right, so let's start out with this whole hot pot nonsense. Okay, so it has become some sort of a trend
Yeah,
in
it's like a
recent
viral
years for humans in hot pot and
Yes.
also just massive hot pots.
So I'm going to teach you a little Chinese.
Yes.
This would be a play on words here. If you see this hot pot here,
Mm-hmm.
the hot pots usually come, or hot pot in this style usually come from either Sichuan or Chongqing, and they call the women of that region la meizi, which means like a
Hot girl.
spicy girl.
Yeah,
right?
spicy girl.
Yeah.
But it's the same as saying hot girl, really.
So there's actually a lot of hot pot restaurants called La Meizi,
Mm-hmm.
and it would make sense to put an actual La Meizi inside of the hot pot.
Inside the
then,
spicy side.
In the spicy side. Therefore, you got to play on
Now, if
words.
they're really, really like smart, they put like a frumpy woman in the other side.
That would be interesting.
Just in the bland side. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, please forgive my,
No,
judgment
I don't know
over
if you
here.
watched Community, that show,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sitcom, but the school mascots like that, like
Yeah.
skin.
Like if they
suit
put
thing.
Mrs. Trunchbull in the other side.
Yes, Mrs. Trunchbull should be on the other
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
Anyway, jokes aside.
Yeah.
They're not eating the broth out of this, just so you know. I know that sound like that
Yeah,
looks like that's what's happening.
There probably are people that would eat that.
Yes, and they sell it in jars.
Yes,
on-
exactly.
On whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, this has become a trend. It's not just that.
Yeah, there is this place in Harbin where you can basically have a spa.
You go in there.
You go in.
You
with,
be the thing.
You cook along with actual vegetables.
Yes.
Which, okay, I don't know about this, man. Like, first of all, isn't that just a massive waste of food?
It's funny because this actually goes against a law currently in China, which is not allowed to promote food waste, and you'll see
Yeah.
that in a little bit. We actually brought that up in the last episode.
Yeah.
But in a clip we're going to show you in a little bit, there's a whole thing that you have to say every time you film something like
Yeah.
this, and you're like, "Oh, that's wasteful. Don't do that." And they're like, "Don't worry, I'm going to finish it."
Yeah.
You're not allowed to promote food waste, so it's interesting that these places even exist.
That's right. Anyway, let's get back to it. So you've got these ridiculous big hot pot type things going on everywhere. Kind of silly, kind of a fad. It's going away, hopefully. What isn't going away is the traditional way to make these like swansai, whatever you call it. What's the actual name of that dish?
Pickled vegetables.
I absolutely love it.
Pickled vegetables.
But I'm kind of horrified that this is the traditional way to make it.
Well, this is what it could be a joke. I mean, it could be a joke to say this is how everyone used to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Anyway, the
I
fact that
don't think that's the case.
No, I don't. Obviously not this bad, but I want everybody to pay attention to this guy and his feet that he's removing from his gumboots over here because they're kind of filthy. Would you not agree?
Yeah, you don't need to point that out. I think people can see.
You think people could see that?
I don't need that
He's
commentary.
eating it. obviously this has to be some kind of parody or something. I
think so.
No, the thing is, when I shared this a while ago, people did. Some of my Chinese friends, they actually said, yes, that is the traditional way to make it. But of course, you would clean your feet.
Yeah, and that's maybe not how you do it now.
No.
Right? A factory does it in the 17th industrial plant
No, but
zone
look,
factory.
you've been to the rural countryside. People still do things in the traditional way.
For sure.
Like,
You're right.
A friend of mine's girlfriend she made swan cai, and she actually had this pot. It was in this apartment, and she put that stuff in there to like ferment for however long, and we ate it. It was delicious, but it was a very traditional way of just letting it rot, basically.
Don't say that.
Yeah, that's
Don't say
true.
let it rot or lie flat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this guy's just showing the traditional way. Now, I know that like wine is stomped on with feet and stuff. I get it.
Well,
so
traditionally. Again, I don't think that's like that anymore.
No, but you'll still you probably pay more for that.
Probably.
Like organic,
I guess. Yeah.
Like traditional made ancient grain wine or something, right?
Ancient grain. If there's grain in your wine, you got a problem. You got beer.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Anyway, just wanted to show you
this is Burger King foot lettuce. Do you remember Burger King foot lettuce?
No.
You don't know that?
Burger King foot lettuce? I don't know that.
Oh my gosh. Dude, everyone in the comments is literally only saying that right now. You don't know that?
No, I don't know.
It's an old meme.
Yeah, I missed that one, obviously.
It was a not parody thing, but like basically this guy did like a video of like the grossest food or whatever. You just need to hear the audio and his voice.
I'm listening.
He goes, it was like a countdown. It was like number 1 was like I don't know, somebody ran over a sandwich and someone ate it or something. Yeah. But number 15. That was the voice of the guy like reading this thing. Yeah. And it was like a Burger King employee apparently had like stood with his shoes, like stood on some lettuce and then served it or something. But just the way he read it became a massive
I got
meme.
you. I got you. Well, this isn't Burger King foot lettuce. This is swan sai. By the way, other than the disgusting, filthy feet, this is a great dish.
Oh, it's awesome.
This tastes
really,
amazing.
Really
if you have the time to try, just make sure you know where it comes from.
Yes.
And that it wasn't a filthy dude.
Is this xiansai or swansai?
It should be swan.
I can't read it from here.
Yeah. It doesn't say right there.
Oh, okay. It's
I
so
could
far
see.
away.
Anyway, speaking of, remember, we're talking about food stuff in general. And the biggest issue that I had with China is that the lack of quality control when it comes to food.
Yes.
Everywhere you go, you find street food in China. And it's delicious. I love Chinese street food. I think it's amazing, most of it. Some of it can go F off for sure. Yes. But, I'm not going to go buy some random chicken feet that are, spicy, weird. There are some things I won't touch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And malatang and stuff, when you see it's been out there for days, you don't want to go near it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's delicious, it's everywhere, but there's no actual oversight.
Yeah.
If you're buying from a street vendor, unless it's in a very touristy area where they have like permanent stalls set up, you're looking for trouble. This is just an example. I'd like you to pay attention to this street food vendor over here. She has currently got her filthy sandal that she's using a rag to like clean out her bunion feet stench. Who knows what happened, Maybe she popped a blister in there. Who knows? It's gross. She's been walking around in the slipper.
You don't need to make this worse than it is.
But it is, though.
You are that guy.
No, I'm not.
You're
she launched the boil, whatever. So now she's cleaned it out, and she takes the same rag to clean the cooking surface, the fruit preparation surface over there.
Notice that someone's filming this.
Yes.
Because they think it's disgusting.
Of course.
Yeah, no one likes this.
I'm just saying, look, she's using that rag to clean everything that she makes the food with.
I like this clip.
Me too. Anyway, I just wanted to show you, if you're buying from street food vendors in China, you're taking a massive risk.
Yes, but I'll do one up you here.
Yeah.
Not only from street vendors, but from factories.
Yes.
Like this one.
We have shown this before, but because we're talking about food, fantastically clean place here. Bro didn't make it.
Ooh, I love that the flies are basically lining up to get inside the baozi.
Extra protein. And you know what? When it's mixed with that like green vegetable, you would not know the difference when it's cooked.
No way.
Think about it, because it goes like dark.
It's not just that. There's the black beans, the dried black beans.
Oh, yes, of course.
You want to know a funny thing?
What?
I know someone in China that had an elderly person at the table, and they were eating...
What were they eating?
They were eating those, those black beans you cook it into vegetables, just like that, right?
Yeah. It tastes nice.
They do, yeah. They're like fermented.
Yeah, fermented. They're very nice, yeah.
And There was one stuck. It had been eating. There's one stuck to the table, but actually it was a fly, and the old lady like picked it up and ate it, and everyone was like gagging in their mouth. It was so funny though.
Ew. Yeah, time to get that
care.
prescription checked. You know,
She didn't care.
Oh, she didn't care.
No.
Okay, so I did a video about this.
This is
a
fascinating.
while ago. These are the corn raiders.
Yeah.
Now, in the rest of the world, I think it's called gleaning. So basically, when a harvester comes to harvest the crops,
Yes.
whatever crops fall by the wayside, some places in the world, the farmers welcome people to come pick it up because it helps them out. But not in China because the farmers want that.
Yeah.
It's theirs, okay? So when crops fall off the harvester, corn or whatever it is, they want to go and pick it up themselves. It belongs to them.
The corn raiders are fascinating though, because it's armies of old
Yes,
ladies.
they hear about it's harvest season and they descend. Let's take a look let's take a look. So they steal. Not only do they steal crops that haven't been harvested yet, they just run in there.
When I said an army, I'm not joking.
They are. See, they're picking up the bushels of whatever it is, and
It becomes such an issue. It's farmers fighting old lady armies.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's insane. Like. Look at that. It looks like a war zone or something.
I know.
But
can we pause it on that particular clip, by
this
the
one?
way? No, the one right before that. That's Sky. Like, imagine the dystopia.
Oh, yeah. Let me get to it. Yeah.
Because we have some new ones, by the way. Corn raiding's gotten so out of control because of the economic downturn.
Yes,
People are really taking advantage of it recently.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They're out there with lights, torches, right?
Yeah. Look at that. Isn't that just...
Look at that. Imagine being out there picking up scraps of corn in a country that your government's told you that you have it better off than Americans do.
Yeah.
And you're out there picking up corn kernels in a
little
polluted
scraps.
field.
It's not nice.
In the cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know they're burning that, like the chaff or whatever, the leftover harvest stuff. That's why the sky's so bad. But yeah, the reason I'm showing you this is a new clip has emerged of farmers fighting back.
Yes.
Because the farmers do not want these middle-aged to elderly people destroying their fields, because they don't just come in there and take the things. They kind of destroy everything in their path.
TIL corn raiding. I know, it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Look at them go. Just look at them. They're like... Yes. So here's a farmer fighting back. So the farmer's like, get these corn raiders out of here.
Enough.
So he brings in his little pickup truck and he's like got a mounted cannon of fireworks. Take a look. It's hilarious.
That's insane. He's risking burning down his own field
Yeah, exactly.
to get rid of the corn raiders. I love how the corn... By the way, pause it there.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
The corn raiders are not bothered in the beginning of this
No.
stuff. Can you restart that
Yeah,
clip?
sure.
They
They
don't
just-
even care.
They're like, whatever, man. They don't notice what's going on. Yeah, I'll get back to that. Here it comes.
Corn raiding.
Yeah.
It's becoming war.
It is. It's like a
It's
war.
civil war.
Look at it. Yeah,
You
they
guys
just
keep talking about civil war in America. Civil war is happening on the cornfields in China.
absolutely. Look at these. Yeah, they're not very phased, are they?
No, they're on the front line.
They're still picking stuff up.
They are. They just don't care.
No. Oh man, it's like Mad Max or something.
It really is. I just absolutely love the corn
Yeah,
raiders.
corn raiders are hilarious. They're like an unstoppable force.
Yes,
The
they
fact
really
that
are.
farmers have to go out there and shoot them with fireworks to get them off their fields.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's funny, but also sad.
It is sad, yeah. I mean, it escalates.
It does.
There are cases of like real bad things happening. Anyway, now this is a massive story.
Yeah.
Okay, about zombie meat.
Yes.
Now, where was this exactly?
I'm pulling it up here.
Mm-hmm.
So zombie meat happened in Yunnan, in southern China, Kunming, the capital.
Yeah.
And it happened on
We've been
October
there, and
16th.
it's a really
It's a
nice city.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty, and it's really a beautiful, mild weather all year round. It's always about 70 degrees.
Great blue skies,
Yeah.
very nice food,
Yeah.
but also full of drug addicts and full of
Yeah.
people breaking. They broke into our car and stole our tripod.
Tons of crime. Very
Dude.
high crime area.
When we were filming Conquering Southern China, we parked our Toyota. The hotel had a parking spot, but it was full. So they said park next to the security guard's little hut.
And he's like, I'll take care of you.
So we parked right next to the security guard's hut. Like literally, here's the security guard. He's looking out at our car. You can't miss it. Come in the morning, they'd smashed the window and stolen. We'd left a tripod on the back seat, but it was just in a bag. You couldn't really tell what it was. So they smashed the window to take it.
Yeah.
So by the way, when when you hear people in China, especially propagandists, talking about like, oh, there's no homeless, there's no drug, there's no crime.
Oh my gosh! Especially
Dude.
after sundown, there it looked like Kensington.
Yeah, it
Remember
did.
all the zombies walking around?
Absolutely. Same deal, because that's the Golden Triangle over there. They've got all the drugs coming over the border from Laos, Cambodia,
they're
all
cheap.
that stuff. Yeah.
Heroin.
So we found needles lying all over the place. And of course, as soon as the sun went down, they're smashing your window to grab your stuff.
Yep.
So that is the bad part of Kunming. The good part of Kunming, like you said, is
a nice
the weather.
city. It's a nice
and it's a
city.
nice city.
Yeah.
But, you know, just like if you go to San Francisco,
Yeah, you're gonna see bad stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it's a nice city too.
exactly. Similar. It's kind of, you could probably compare
Very
the two.
similar.
Very similar.
Mild weather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so in this school, they found out that the food being prepared to give to the students was food from 2015. Meat.
9 years old meat.
Meat from 2015.
Yeah.
That had just been frozen. So as you can see here from the label, enhance. There we go. And it apparently comes from Brazil. So
Well, China's been making inroads with a lot of countries with that are because they're trying to avoid trade. Well, not avoid. They're getting cut off from trade with a lot of the West. And I say the West. I know that Brazil's in the West technically, but like they're getting like more developing countries to partner with them.
Well, I mean, here's what happens. Usually, because of standards in Brazil, presumably they're like, we cannot use this meat anymore. It has to be thrown away.
That too.
But someone enterprising is like, I can sell that to China.
It's true.
So I know somebody in China that'll buy it.
It's true.
And then they buy it and then they use it.
Yeah, this
It's like-
goes on forever. You could probably just
Yeah,
play it
I'll
out.
play it now. But basically, what happens is the parents found out because one of the parents was visiting and noticed the meat stank.
Yeah, it smelled bad.
Like really bad, so called the cops. And this is a very long clip in the background. We'll just keep running it. But basically, what's happening in this clip is that's one of the parents brought the cops in, is showing them, look, all of this meat's rank. It's gone off. It stinks. And then they like open up the storeroom and they find out that the meat's from 2015. So this is what's called zombie meat. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's like undead meat.
Yes, undead.
Okay, it should have been, thrown away, discarded, because it's past its expiration date. But of course, to cut costs, they buy this expired meat, and because it's frozen, they're like, it's okay. You know, cook it up, cook it hot enough, so get rid of the smell, add a lot of spices, feed it to the kids. And it's just incredibly immoral to do something like that. But it happens in China a lot. This is just yet another example of this happening.
You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, you know what the irony is?
What?
The 2015, the meat, right? In 2015, there was actually like, what was it, 100,000 tons or something of meat was busted in China that they were going to sell and use, / were selling and using.
They were using it, yeah.
From World War II.
Yes, that's right. In
So
2015.
they just passed the torch. You know what I mean?
So for those of you who are not aware, of course, during World War II, there was a lot of countries had to save supplies, ration supplies. Yeah. And what they did in some European countries is they froze meat and put them in like the mountains or whatever, in caves, or, they found places where they could store it long term, because they didn't know how long the war was going to, drag on, and you needed to have rations and supplies for your civilians and your army and stuff.
That's right.
So a lot of that went unused, of course, because, when the war came to an end, now you've got how many tons of meat sitting in a frozen mountain somewhere. What do you do with that? Usually, you would get rid of it. Yeah. But you could also sell it to China, who will buy it from you and use it. True. Unscrupulous people. So imagine you're eating food from the 40s. You're eating meat that was born before your grandfather or something. It's kind of disturbing.
Yes.
Ancient meat.
Zombie meat.
It's like that time those scientists, they found like a mammoth or whatever in the ice, and then they cooked it and made mammoth burgers.
Did they really?
Yeah. That could be an urban legend, but I don't think. Look it up. Let's find out. Did they really eat the woolly mammoth? I feel like they did. I got told that in school.
I don't believe that, but if they did. People long believed that the unlikely legends about the North, to the dismay of storytellers, the Explorers Club did not eat mammoth meat in 1951.
Oh, man. Okay, so it was like an urban legend, but that's back in the day before you had the internet to disprove these things.
This is true.
Yeah. Oh, well,
no,
I mean, it's the same idea. You know when they found that mummy, what's his name? The Iceman.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly kind of preserved. It's kind of like if you went and ate a bit of him,
I think it wouldn't be like that because that's a human.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, say you find like a...
I think that's how you get like an Egyptian curse.
Yes, but he wasn't Egyptian. He's like an Iceman
sorry.
Otzel or something, you know? He's
I think
like
that's how you get that curse.
Yeah, you get a whatever, like,
that curse.
Nordic curse or something. But whatever, if you found a frozen rabbit in your backyard from the 1920s, it just happened to be deep enough that it kept, and then you ate it. It's
I
the
wouldn't
same.
do that.
I'm just saying. One time I did,
What's
by
up,
the way.
Doc?
One time I
did this.
I had like a freezer.
Okay.
And this is when I was like a bachelor, like a long time ago. And for some reason, like some sausages had frozen over. You know when that ice goes over it?
Yeah. That's when you have a leak, right?
Well, I guess, like an air leak or something. But anyway, it was frozen over. So I didn't know they existed because the ice was on top of it.
Right.
For a very long time. And I don't know how long.
Sure.
Probably when I bought the fridge, it was already like that.
Sure.
Who knows? Anyway, so one night, me and my friend were drinking, and we were really hungry. And I was like digging through the freezer, and I noticed a little bit of sausage sticking out there. So I chipped them out, and we cooked them and ate them. They could have been there for years. They could have actually been there for years.
They weren't from World War II.
No, but they were old. So
You
I
did survive.
I survived. Yep.
Yeah.
Somehow.
That's a good lesson to learn.
Yes, don't do that, guys.
Well, basically, you're telling these parents, chill out. 2015 meat's not that bad.
Yeah, well, anyway, I do think it's pretty bad to have meat from 2015 fed to your kids.
Probably. But we have
So-
other things to show, food
Yes,
related.
we do.
It doesn't all have to be grim zombie meat.
No, of course not. Anyway, the thing is, it's just another scandal that's happened, and this is something you do find in China because China is the land of shortcuts and facades. If people can get away with it, they get away with it, and it's horrible that happens in China. You know, fake vaccines to kids.
Yeah.
You know, especially when children are involved, it's always very upsetting. So, of course, the local Chinese populace are incredibly incensed by this. There's been a lot of backlash about this. The school is now obviously cancelled whoever their catering company was, and they're getting another one in. But, you know, like if this wasn't pointed out by the mother, it would have just continued.
Yes.
I wonder how much zombie meat those kids have eaten over the years.
Probably a lot. But it wasn't mammoth meat. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed that isn't real.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is kind of bad to eat like a mammoth.
I think actually there would be potential. Think about this. The human diet has changed so much over time. You might even be allergic to those old ancient proteins and things. Like it might not work.
You might catch some disease which you then like pass on to other humans and everyone dies.
Pretty sure that's how the next outbreak would happen.
Sure.
Eating mammoth meat, you know.
Anyway, it's all fun and games until it's not. And so we're not going to show you the footage here. It's been blurred out for a reason. But this was a brand new restaurant that had opened. You can always tell because it's got the flower bouquets outside. And the customers went in there and a group of them died from food poisoning. Which are being, carted out here, about 5 people. And that's why I say it's always a bit of a risk in China because of the lack of quality control.
For sure. But you know what's crazy are these...
Yeah, let's lighten the mood.
I promise I would tell you guys about this trend in China, and this is everywhere, obviously, is getting people to eat a lot of food on camera, mukbangs, that type of thing.
By the way, that mammoth meat thing,
What?
it was in my textbook.
That's so wrong.
It was in it like a history, science. It was in a textbook.
What are you guys learning in South Africa?
I don't know. I feel like other people had it in their textbooks too.
That's crazy. I didn't.
Yeah, but you're younger. There weren't these old-timey expeditions in your day.
I forgot you're from 1919 when this rumor is from.
Yeah, exactly. You need a pith helmet or whatever.
Yeah,
you go into the Arctic or something.
Moving on, I promised I'd tell you about these mukbangs because mukbangs are still popular in China. However, because of the food waste laws...
We have a challenge for you.
Yes, we have a challenge for you. Because of these food waste laws, you have to someone has to say like, oh, don't do that. That's wasteful. Or, oh, I'm not going to waste this. It actually has to be said in these videos. It's crazy. It's almost like this disclaimer. So you'll see that here. But
people want to poll about the
I'm gonna poll.
mammoth.
Oh, they want to poll about
Just a quick mammoth. Did you learn about this mammoth thing in school like I did?
Did you hear about mammoth meat?
That these guys cooked up mammoth. I remember they had like an illustration and everything.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
I'll
Just quickly before this.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Didn't want to distract because what you're about to see here is very important. It's pinnacle.
Yeah, so this type of mukbang stuff is very popular in China, but what the influencers do is take you somewhere and then surprise. Like the Western mukbangs or Korean mukbangs, it's like someone in a room and they're like, look, I've ordered all this food.
Oh,
right?
I can't stand
It's
that
gross.
stuff. Yeah.
No offense, but I think it's really gross.
Yeah.
The ones in China will go and try to get the public reaction or the reaction of the waiter or the staff because they'll try and order the entire menu and then proceed to eat it, right? And this one, I'm already like feeling gross because we had to watch this.
Yeah.
We actually didn't watch
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Neither did I.
No.
But she's going to go to this all-you-can-eat salmon place. And most people will go in there and they'll get like the meal and then they'll finish and be like, oh, I'm too full.
Yeah.
She goes in, and I just want you guys to see this because we were debating on whether it's even real or not because it's so insane, the sheer amount of salmon this woman eats.
Yes.
And we want to know, number one, can you handle watching this? My mouth is elevated. Not in a good way.
Yeah, the food poisoning
Yes. I love salmon, but I'll tell you what, I don't think I ever want to eat it again after I saw it. Even I only watched 30% of this.
Yeah.
Can you handle this clip? And number two, at the end, we want you to vote and see if you think it's real or not.
Okay.
First, we'll pull this mammoth thing.
Yes.
Did you hear about mammoth meat in school? 23% say yes, 77% say no.
Okay, well, at least there are some others like me out there.
Yeah, must be your generation back in 1919.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm, us Gen Xers,
Oh my gosh.
Unlike you millennials.
Yeah, it's true.
So anyway, let's move on. We'll poll you afterwards. Right?
We'll pull it to see if it's
somewhere
real.
in the middle.
I do think this is genuine.
Okay.
You said maybe not.
let's let our audience
你好，现
decide.
在能吃吗？对，2位，菜单上所有的都给我来一
Two
份，不切的
people.
三文
She
鱼，鱼
goes. She orders everything on the menu. She's
Basically.
ordering the salmon belly.
单
Go
给
ahead.
我来5条，
每人限1份，1份是2片。
4条不切的，2份切的，
She's
然后
asking for ones that are not cut, ones that are cut.
再购买。
Whatever that
今
is.
天
Slice,
三文
like
鱼主
slice
题之
salmon.
中
Yeah, but
实现三
so
文鱼
this is
自
the
由。
beginning.
有了监督员加持，寿司
You can turn
也
it
是
down.
大
We don't actually need to
Yeah.
hear the dialogue.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the dialogue. And I don't want to hear the slurp noises either. I can't
Sure,
stand
yeah,
that.
I don't like that so much. Do you have misophonia?
No, I don't, but
Okay.
I think it's gross.
It is pretty gross, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's eating it like a shish kebab.
It's okay. That's impressive. It's actually deeply impressive.
Is it though?
No, but when it comes down to it, like the sheer amount. Because in the beginning, I'm already full now. Right? I'm already full.
Yeah.
I'm bowing out.
Yeah,
I'm full.
I'd be full.
It's like that. Oh, you know what I mean? The size of that. You know what I mean?
It's just
You know when you slice it for sashimi,
Yeah.
you have maybe a couple.
that's like
right?
a whole salmon.
I know, like a whole ass Atlantic salmon or Nordic salmon or whatever. Everyone's very impressed, obviously. Some people are like, what the hell's going on? But there's this whole ass salmon meal. And it's all raw. Most of it's raw.
Yeah.
It's just it's shocking the amount, right? And
Is she eating that all the fried rice as well?
Yeah, like it's the whole taocan, like the whole set
Yeah.
meal, right?
Yeah.
But then she orders
Like the cheese salmon rice.
Yeah, but then she orders another taocan, another set meal.
Wow.
And then more of those giant slabs.
What? Seriously?
Yes.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Oh, this is like
Isn't this wild?
it's not okay.
So your theory was that maybe this was shot over a few days or something.
Well, I feel like I don't see how she's managing to fit so much food inside of her.
Right. But you've seen those mukbangs or those professional eaters. Like they do. Like those people that eat like 150 hot dogs or whatever, right? The skinny dudes.
That's true.
It's absolutely insane. Like the sheer protein, like your body must reject that level of protein at some point.
It's
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't.
Especially
there's
'cause-
something nauseating about
because seafood is not great when it comes to like making you sick.
Yeah, like that's what'll make you. I love seafood, but that's what'll make you
I like how
sick.
that poster's torn just perfectly for her head to fit
Oh yeah,
there.
it is. It's perfect. Yeah, that's true. I didn't
What's
notice
going on?
that.
She seriously.
She's still going.
I feel like this has to be another day.
That's what you were saying. I think it might be legit.
I don't think anyone can eat that much, really.
I think it might be legit. The real analysts out there will be able to tell like the lighting.
And now an okonomiyaki as well.
Yes.
That's literally like a whole pizza, basically.
I mean, that's like 50,000 calories.
Okonomiyaki is very calorific.
And it's so heavy.
It's thick, yeah. And she's eating a whole onion. Did you see that?
Just take a bite of it.
That's got to be the same bowl
All
of
right,
fried
pause
rice.
that. We
Okay.
want to ask you, is this for real?
Yeah.
Is this for real?
Yeah. If I play it backwards, she can lose weight.
She doesn't need to lose weight.
No,
These kind of people that can eat this amount of food always have like such crazy metabolisms.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's not like we can't do that. We would
Yeah.
just be fat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Is
I
this
put
for
on that
real?
much amount of weight.
I mean, it's just absolutely insane. That like that right there. This is where it becomes unappealing to me because I like raw salmon.
You don't like people deep throating salmon?
No, I like raw salmon, but I like it when it's a piece.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want
like-
to eat a slab.
No,
of it.
dude. Anything in excess is bad. You can
Sure.
take the the nicest dish in the world, the nicest thing in the world, but if it's in excess, it just becomes horrible.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. But yeah, maybe she's a pro eater. I mean, it's impressive either way. But what I will say is that I want you guys to vote, and I'm going to pull the vote right here. We're already pretty much not unanimous, but the vote has enough votes. No, people said, is it for real? 63% of people say no, it is not for real.
Yeah.
36% of people say yes, it's for real. So I'm in the minority there.
I mean, it's obviously edited because there's cuts between everything.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So, I mean, either she's going and throwing it up in the bathroom or something, or she's coming on a different day, or
Who knows?
I feel like
knows?
there's something weird going on here because I
Who
feel
knows?
like just the human body would reject that.
But you obviously have not watched Professional Eaters.
No, I don't.
There are
That's-
people eating
not my
200
thing.
hot dogs.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I'm saying, but you see it on TV. Like, that's more than this. That's more food than this.
That's true.
You know?
You know what I really enjoy watching is the chili eating contests, you know?
Yeah, because you like when people get hurt.
I like to see people suffer unnecessarily
You
like
do.
that.
You are-
but
you are
only
like
if it's
that.
self-inflicted, you know? Of
course.
So it's really funny to watch them try their best to eat like the super hot chilies and stuff.
No, we have to get to the news though.
Okay, yeah,
That's
I'm
enough
sorry.
of this. We don't need to watch this over.
No,
and
no,
over
no.
again.
This
I already
is,
started
it's
to
making
feel
me
gross.
quite sick, to be
Yeah,
honest.
That's enough. That's enough. All right, that's enough.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
back up.
Okay.
No. I don't want to watch this
It's
anymore.
okay. She's just slurping some junk up.
Stop. Who's the dude, by the way? He just
That's
randomly
the person
cuts
with
in.
her.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Because remember, she said
There's-
Liang
yeah, she
Wei,
asked for
and
two
that's
people.
her cameraman, obviously.
For sure.
Oh, my word. Can she just stop for a minute here?
Why
Just
did
go
you
away.
have to fast forward, rewind, and then we have to watch it all again?
I don't want that. They didn't plan for that. The
Okay,
fact, why
this
is
the
she
last
eating an
scene.
onion?
I don't know, I think that's for clicks.
I think the onion's to like palate cleanse in between all
That's
the
true.
the
That's
sashimi.
true. I feel sick now.
Yeah.
What I don't feel sick about is America got some pandas back from China.
I
Panda
am sick
diplomacy.
about that.
No, I'm not sick. I'm mad.
Okay.
We have some exclusive footage in a second.
Mm-hmm.
It says one's got a big appetite and the other's a bit of an introvert. China's new panda diplomats touched down in D.C. So when China, it's crazy. It's a real litmus test. There's two
Panda
things
diplomacy.
but there's two things you can learn about pandas.
Yeah.
When something really bad happens in China, the diplomats and the state officials on Twitter or on Chinese media or whatever, or on Western media, will post about pandas.
Yes.
It's like a telltale thing that there's like a protest or the economy's doing, but something's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if they send pandas, they did something really, really bad, and
Yes.
America's very mad.
Yeah, and they want to try
they
and
wanna
mend
ties.
relations. Yeah.
Yes, because things are bad.
Here's the thing that really pisses me off, though. Is like last time there was an issue between America and China, they told the entire Chinese population that America abuses pandas. And you remember they showed
Yes.
those. There was a
Yes.
panda that legitimately had a
Yes.
condition,
Yes.
like a health condition.
Yes.
Yes. You know, animals are like humans. Some of
Yeah.
them actually suffer from certain conditions.
Yeah, like skin conditions.
Yeah, had a condition, and it was looking sickly and poorly, all right? And it was
Yep.
being looked after the best it could.
Yep.
And so the Chinese government went and told all the Chinese people that America abuses the pandas.
Yeah.
And they whipped up this nationalist frenzy.
It's
And,
leverage that they have.
It's leverage. And so then they brought the pandas back,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
And then, like, when the pandas landed, you had all the people waving the flag saying, you know, welcome back from that abusive, horrible America. And all
Screw
that.
America, burn
Yeah.
American flags, that stuff. Yeah.
Why are they sending new ones then?
Because when they need to show that they're having goodwill and they want to repair relations, that's what authoritarian countries
This
do.
is like the worst, by the way, this is the worst thing ever to send pandas because you would think China sends pandas, right? That they're going to fit the bill. But no.
No.
America has to pay for it. And it costs millions of dollars to keep these pandas healthy
Yep.
and to look after them. China's not fitting that bill.
No.
It's like someone saying, I'm going to do you a massive favor. I'm going to go take out a loan in your name. Okay?
Yes.
And you have to pay it.
I'm gonna go buy a house.
Yes.
but it's.
I'm going to buy you a house, but
Yeah.
you have to pay
You
for
have
it.
to pay for it.
Exactly.
Like, I can't afford
Yeah.
it.
And you have to get out of it when I want you to.
Yeah. Doesn't make
But
sense.
you still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Two
Anyway.
giant pandas from China landed in Washington, making the first time the U.S. Capitol has welcomed a new set of furry diplomats from Beijing in 24 years. The FedEx cargo plane, dubbed Panda Express, which that's pretty funny.
Yeah, they actually had a big picture of a panda on the side. I'm surprised you didn't find it. On the FedEx plane, they actually put a big decal.
There's more media here.
Okay.
Carrying Li and Qingbao, both 3 years old.
Well, like Qianbao
Yeah.
wallet.
Landed at Washington Dulles Airport at 9:53. Yeah, I think that's 9:59. This is very far away.
AM.
And amid tight security, blah, blah. Let's look at the pandas real quick.
Okay, let's take a look at the pandas. Here they come.
Actually, very attractive looking pandas. I don't mean it like that.
I hope not.
No, I mean it like they're very like
Nice
they look like
pandas?
they're in good shape.
Yeah. You know, hopefully they didn't secretly like give them flu or like panda flu that kicks in after a few weeks so they can blame America again.
Well, actually, what I wanted to say is they did something worse.
Oh, okay.
This is not real. This might be the footage you're seeing on mainstream media. We got the real footage here.
Yeah.
Here's the arrival as they arrived here. Washington, D.C. is in for great disappointment.
Yeah.
Because here are the pandas that have arrived. I think a lot of people that go and pay money to see these things are going to be very disappointed to see that they are in fact dogs.
Yes.
They're
Okay.
chow-chows.
All jokes aside.
No jokes aside, because we got more footage.
Yes. There we go. Here we go.
No, we got more footage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of them, right?
Yeah. Here we got the pandas over here.
Well, we got more footage of the pandas.
Okay.
It's coming up here.
Here
It's
we
the
go.
next clip here. After these, the
right.
dogs. So first is a batch of dogs.
Yeah. Dog pandas over there. Mm-hmm.
The next batch of
Chow-chows.
pandas that they sent to some of the other zoos, unfortunately, are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not very convincing pandas, to be honest.
And I can't believe they thought they'd get away with this.
Yeah.
This is just I think this
They're
is
like,
insulting.
now we're going to go to our covert op in America. Let's go do it. You know.
No one will know the difference.
No one will know.
They sent 4 pandas. 2 of them are real.
Yeah, but then the other 2 are actually covert spies.
Yes.
The 3 of them, look, three panda
DC,
spies.
DC, you really let your guard down.
Yeah.
You need to step up your security.
Oh, yeah.
You're allowing panda diplomacy. What you're allowing is a spy operation.
Okay, that was obviously a joke. But all jokes aside, the dogs that you saw there, some zoos in China recently have been caught pretending that the dogs were pandas.
Yes.
Saying they have pandas.
Correct.
People turn up, it's actually dogs that have been dyed
Yes.
to look like pandas.
Yes.
And that's not even a joke. You can go look it up. Recently,
And
there was a
hopefully-
big news outbreak about that.
Hopefully the dogs didn't die from the dye.
Yes.
You know what's very so that the cute panda footage, by the way, earlier
Yeah.
that you saw, those are the real pandas that I've read, and
Yes.
they do look very nice.
Pandas are great, but you know, I find it's kind of nonsense that you know, if you go to China, you go to the zoo, you can find like an African lion,
Yes, you can.
okay, and they breed them there,
Yeah.
and they keep them there. Why can't the rest of the world breed some pandas and keep them?
It's incredibly hard.
I know but it's definitely doable.
Probably. I don't think they allow it. I don't think
That's
China
what I'm
allows-
saying.
yeah.
China doesn't allow it, but they're allowed to
'Cause they
knock
need
off other
leverage.
people's stuff.
They need to.
I think like what we need a covert, like someone needs to steal some sperm and eggs from those pandas and like grow lab-grown pandas and then get rid of this.
I think this is a bad
Monopoly.
idea.
Just
I
get
think
rid
this
of the
is like
monopoly.
Jurassic Park, but it's Pandoraphic Park or whatever.
Exactly. But then like you could just have pandas everywhere and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Sure.
By the way, a little bit of a fact about pandas.
Yes.
China was having a huge amount of trouble breeding pandas and releasing them into the wild. So what they did is they actually came to America, and there's a dude lives somewhere in the woods who has basically his whole life is about raising bears and releasing them into the wild and teaching them how to get back in the wild. So
Conservationist.
yeah, he's a bear dude.
Bear
you know?
conservationist.
He's a bear dude. He lives out in the middle of nowhere with
Not Bear
bears.
Grylls.
No, but he does this. He's very successful at it. And so they actually went to him for advice, and he got his assistant or whatever to go fly and live in China to help China get the pandas back into the wild. So it's actually Americans helped China get the pandas
That's
back
weird.
into the
I
wild.
always heard it was British for some reason. Anyway.
You're wrong. You're thinking of like Gorillas in the Mist with, you know, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but yeah, sure.
You can look it up.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay.
This is disturbing.
Yeah, okay, yes.
This is just actually disturbing.
Yeah, it's like Judy's not your girlfriend.
Judy's not your girlfriend. If you're new here, we've come up with a phrase. China is obsessed with Taiwan. They won't leave Taiwan alone. Taiwan's a fully flourishing, functioning, independent democracy with its own money, judicial system, legal system. It does not want to be part of China.
Yeah.
China is a authoritarian dictatorship that ranks 8 out of 100 in the Freedom House Index. Taiwan's 90-something. Yeah. Now, to fast forward here, China's been doing a lot of military drills, promising they're going to take back Taiwan no matter what.
Yes.
And they actually did a military exercise where they enhearted Taiwan in a military exercise drill that was the shape of a heart around the island of Taiwan. And actually put this out.
Yeah, this is
a propaganda.
Chinese
image.
propaganda.
And they said, "Hi, my sweetheart." China's love heart propaganda labeled creepy in Taiwan. Image dispersed during Monday's military drills likened to sexual harassment or abusive partner. Judy is not your girlfriend.
So here's the thing. Taiwan has never been a part of China.
No.
There was a civil war. The nationalists fled to Taiwan and they stayed there.
Yes.
The mainland China, the Communist Party, has never had any governance over Taiwan.
Never once.
Never once. So we liken it to that situation where you've got this guy who's obsessed with a girl. She says no, but he's like, no, she's my girlfriend. He's like, no.
He tells all his friends she's my girlfriend.
Exactly.
And she's like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I've never even kissed the guy.
Judy is not your girlfriend.
I didn't even know he exists.
Yes.
But he insists, no, that's my girlfriend.
Judy's
don't
my
you
girlfriend.
talk to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
If anyone, so you know that when America, someone tries to talk to Taiwan, like, don't you talk to Judy.
Yeah.
She's my girlfriend. You stay away. That
Judy's
kind of thing.
not your girlfriend.
Judy's not your girlfriend,
And this is
China.
creepy as hell.
And then when you go and do stuff
is
like this,
stalker.
now literally they have warplanes and boats and military stuff surrounding the island.
It's like when you go to the mirror with the lipstick, you're like, "Ah."
Yeah, exactly. This is like a stalker
dude. It's
killer.
gross.
It's
I
a
hate it.
stalker, serial killer type move over here. And it really is. It is likened to sexual harassment or an abusive
It is.
partner.
You know what's crazy about this? Again, this image is not a artistic representation. This is what the propaganda department in China put
Chinese
out.
government put this out.
The propaganda department of China's Coast Guard.
Yes.
This image came from China's Coast Guard, which ran what it called law enforcement patrols around Taiwan during Monday's drills.
Yeah.
This is absolutely gross.
This is
And
the
this-
Chinese Coast Guard put
It
this
says
out.
in Chinese here, with the "Hello, my sweetheart." Hi, my sweetheart. It's actually from a popular Taiwanese soap opera, which ran about 15 years ago. It was popular in China. And a lot of Taiwanese people think not only is this creepy, but it's mad cringe that China can't get over some old shit show that was like
exactly.
from 15 years ago because they don't even watch their own domestic media.
Yep.
So there's a lot of funnies around it in Taiwan, but there's also a lot of people being like, "That's gross."
It's disgusting. But again, if you go down into the ground in Taiwan and you ask the people like, oh, are you scared? They're like, no, they don't give a crap. They're just carrying on with their lives.
You know what my favorite part about this, though, is that the propaganda department of the Coast Guard put this out. Did they not think that, like, everyone in the rest of the world is going to look at this and think this is absolutely... It's not, like, powerful. It's not like, oh, that's really scary. Everyone's looking at this saying, that's mad gross and creepy. Don't do that. And now they're going to hate China.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this is such bad PR.
It's horrible. It's kind of... I don't even know what you could liken this to.
Yeah.
Like maybe an ex-colonial power. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe France or England, like, circling a territory they never overtook, by the way,
Yes.
and they're like, you're next.
You're next.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, from France with love.
Yes, from France with love, we're coming.
With a bomb or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
The military,
It's so...
the military like, from
This
France with love.
isn't what other people in the rest of the world think is cool, dude.
No.
This is mad gross.
Judy's not your girlfriend.
Stop.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's really gross.
it's horrible. China,
Anyway.
stop.
Yeah.
Just
mad
stop.
Unpalatable.
Yeah.
Last couple things here. China's economy is doing very poorly.
You'll find links to these articles in the description, by the way.
China's economy is doing very poorly. They've been blasting a fire hose of money at this with a stimulus package.
Sure.
Problem is, it's not really taking.
Well, they
It's-
blast money, but they don't do anything. They don't
there's
change
no,
anything.
There's no reform.
Yeah, they basically just like, print a bunch of money, throw it at it, and then
Yes.
like, oh, well, it's fine now.
So what it does do is all the investment type people are like, wow, China's now very investable. Not everyone. some people are like, wow, let's invest in China right now. But domestic people on the ground in China are not confident in their economy.
Yeah.
They're not, they don't see any permanent changes happening. So I thought this was a fantastic article, but I wanted to read this little blip.
Okay.
China's plan to boost flagging growth is the very definition of economic insanity. For the fourth time in 16 years, bazooka stimulus aims to reset the economy, but China's problems demand structural solutions. And I love this quote. China's leaders seem to have invoked the definition of insanity, attributed, perhaps wrongly, to Einstein, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. For the fourth time in 16 years, Beijing has been spooked by faltering growth into adopting an array of economic stimulus measures designed to reset the economy. It didn't work for long in 2008, 2015, or 2021. And the bazooka measures announced recently will most likely come up short. And I've read multiple economic analysts about this. Almost no one is being positive about it.
That's stupid.
You can't do the same thing and expect different results.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. So I hope people that are investing in China get a wake-up call and realize that, you know, the lies are just lies upon other lies upon other lies. Stop buying into it. Stop thinking that China's the next big thing. Stop thinking that you're going to make a lot of money investing in China. You know who makes a lot of money when you invest in China is the CCP.
Yes.
That's it.
I wanted to read a possible solution. This is from another article.
Yeah.
A solution, this is what would have to happen to actually make China investable.
Okay.
A solution, or to fix the economy, a solution would involve the sustainable expansion of the income and consumer demand shares of the economy, an end to deflation risk, more income redistribution, the promotion of private enterprise, and extensive tax and local government reforms. Literally everything they're doing is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Everything. It's all Leninism right now.
It is.
China's pulling Leninism, thinking it's going to repair the economy. It doesn't work. That's, in fact, how you tank your country.
Correct. Well, here's the thing. I just wanted to put a little bit of insight out there, okay? I don't care if China becomes the #1 world economy.
I'll go for it.
I've never cared about that. You know, I come from South Africa, which is probably like number 99 world economy. I don't even know what it is, right?
Let's see.
But it's not a competition to me.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah. What is it? And I think a lot of people out there, especially when they see how critical we are of the Chinese government, they think that somehow 36, yeah. Well, they think that somehow it's because we're worried about losing a competition. At least me.
Yeah, it's not a sports match.
I don't care if America is #1 or France is #1 or Norway is #1 or China is #1 when it comes to the world economy. What I care about is morals. I care about the fact that the way China is trying to achieve its goals of being the #1 economic power is underhanded. It's sneaky. It's crafty. It's like taking advantage of loopholes.
Forced labor.
Destroying the environment while pretending they're not. By placating people by saying, look, we're building some solar panels and some wind farms, but we're also building new coal-burning power plants more than the world has ever seen in a single year. And we're going to continue to do that. You know, they do all these like really nasty things because it's cheap and easy to create energy using coal-burning power plants. So they just build those so that they can make these wasteful EVs that you've got fields of wasted EVs.
But then hold the world to task for carbon goals.
Yeah, but say like, oh, look, UK, you got to reduce your emissions. Meanwhile, they're just pumping out, remember all those shared bicycles, millions and millions of waste and all the production and all the pollution created. China has used more concrete in 3 years than America used in 100 years.
China has more carbon emissions than the entire world combined.
Exactly. So what we're talking about is we're talking about underhanded stuff that is detrimental to the environment, destroying this world that we live in. Never mind the fact that there's underhanded theft and IP theft and espionage and trying to attack like the infrastructure in America.
Genocide.
Yeah, and yes, let's not forget the Uyghur genocide and the forced labor and all that issue. So when it comes to complaining and criticizing about all these things China doesn't, it's not out of a jealousy thing. It's not you're scared of China being #1.
No.
That's never...
Go for it.
If you want to be #1 and you want to do it legitimately, that's totally fine. It's the same as sports. You got a track, 2 people can run down that track, and let's see who gets fairly to the front. But in China's case, it's literally like there's a track. When you run down it, you trip everyone else up, or you poison them or something.
No,
so
it's
you
the
can
Sacha
come
Baron
first.
Cohen movie. You know, the
Oh yeah, when he
dictator,
like
and
shoots. Yeah, exactly.
Shoots the competition.
Correct. So I just wanted to put that insight out there for those of you who might think that there's some ulterior motive. Anyway, let's,
last story. That was good. I liked
got,
your.
you got a last story. Okay.
Yeah, just a couple things I wanted people to read. China falls into its own trap. Just another perspective on the whole. This is an opinion on the whole thing.
Okay.
Very good article down below.
Yeah.
And also a fantastic article about who's to blame for China's cyber nationalism, and is China's cyber nationalism to blame for these recent stabbings?
Yes.
I have not read a better analysis of this. Of course, you can share our video we did about it. We've done multiple things about it. This is, if you wanted to share an article with someone, I would share this one. It's fascinating. So it's down below.
Excellent stuff.
Moving on to our Q&A.
Yeah, guys, it's time for Yumcha. This is our Q&A segment where we answer your questions and you question our answers. So we're going to be reading our super chats. Let's do it. Oh, by the way, it's Friday. I hope everybody's ready to have a fantastic weekend. I certainly am. I'm going to loosen the tie. Let's get started.
Pick up the bike, guys.
Yes.
Let's pick up the bike.
No one's picked up the bike. No one's picked up the bike.
No, the bike remains. Dr. YouTuber, thank you for the memberships. Oh, yeah, thank you for the memberships.
That's incredibly generous, by the way. And don't forget, every week, because of our generous members over here, part of our community, you can win a free membership.
Yes.
Because they hand them out because they're incredibly generous.
With their generosity, has a free milestone chat today, and they asked one question: what would that be